Back then, she was a popular Jamaican TV and radio personality, working for one of the island's major reputable media companies. She's extremely intelligent, fashion savvy, has a great sense of humor, and advancing in her career as an entertainment journalist. She fell in love with a coworker who was a married man with 2 children. Though she was an independent and intelligent woman, she acted with the impulse of her heart and delved into the relationship, ignoring the fact of his marriage. When she found out that she was pregnant with his child, she announced the great news to the father-to-be for the third time around. But all her joy that she thought would bond them closer abruptly turned to sadness when he told her to get rid of her pregnancy by aborting it. She gave him a defying and resounding no. This is when this man dragged off his mask and released his evilous determination that he rather have her dead than his wife finding out about his extramarital affair. And that, viewers, is the beginning of Jody-Ann Gray's horrific script for Hollywood true life story. This is Make We Talk channel. Please give this video a like and subscribe to the channel, and I look forward to reading your opinions in the comment section below. It started for Jody-Ann Gray and Wayne Whyte as a mutual attraction, working together at Kool97 FM radio station in 2010. Jody-Ann was then 26 years old and Wayne Whyte was 42, a 16-year difference age gap. Jody-Ann, then an aspiring young radio announcer, was put under the direct supervision of Wayne Whyte. They both discovered they were compatible in their work environs, and Wayne, who was the host of a gospel program on the station, with his years of experience, taught Jody-Ann his wealth of knowledge in becoming a distinguished broadcasting journalist. It so happens both of them developed intimate feelings for each other, which would be considered not encouraging for that category workplace. They kept their affair secret. Jody-Ann was more enticed to have an affair with Wayne when he told her he was separated from his wife. So they sneak off here, there, and everywhere to do grown folks ring ring ding ding behind closed doors. During their one-year romantic affair in November of 2011, Jody-Ann told Wayne she was 5 weeks pregnant, a news she anticipated would be received with joy and the sacredness of producing a life into this world with someone whom she was in love with. But the happy celebrative reception she was expecting from Wayne abruptly turned into a dark cloud of dejection when he inhumanely told her to abort the pregnancy, as if Jody-Ann was a piece of trash. Jody-Ann at that time, I would say, was young and vulnerable when it comes to affairs of the heart, but her natural maternal instincts kicked in to protect her unborn child at all costs. I will not have an abortion. My child is a part of me. I will not harm my unborn child. Those words coming from Jody-Ann were like a bullet from a gun shooting at Wayne. But the serpent in him wanted her to be eliminated from the land of the living, in defiance of his wishes, which was selfish on his part, merely because he did not want his wife to find out that he was having an affair with Jody-Ann. From then on, he maliced her, avoiding her at all costs, intensifying the tension and awkwardness of her work environment. It was a painful episode in Jody-Ann's life, how the scenario quickly transpired between her and the once love of her life, Wayne. But she was a one-of-a-kind woman. She had her dignity and her pride and transited herself into moving on and was preparing to raise her child on her own. Jody-Ann, in part of her moving on journey, incorporated changing her address by moving to Cedar Grove, Portmore, St. Catherine, near her extended family. In mid-March of 2012, 7 months into her pregnancy, after malicing her because she told him she would not abort her baby, Jody-Ann was taken aback by a call from Wayne. He called her claiming he was doing a welfare check on her and the baby. Jody-Ann had mixed reaction. Part of her thought he had come to his senses, seeing her persevering on her own, while a sixth sense found it rather odd and in her mind questioned his trustworthiness and how cold he had treated her when she first told him she was pregnant with his child. It seemed Wayne was trying to worm himself back into Jody-Ann's life when he offered to take her home after they worked together at an outside broadcast. So that's how he came to know of her new address. At approximately 11 p.m. on the 4th of April 2012, Jody-Ann arrived home. Just as she was exiting her car at her house gate, a car suddenly slowed down and then stopped near her. A Rastafarian man alighted from the car and aimed a gun at her. He pulled the trigger, but it didn't fire. He pulled the trigger a second time and it fired a shot, hitting Jody-Ann in the face. He proceeded to shoot her 2 more times, one in the hand and the other in the neck. He ran from the scene to the awaiting car. As karma would prove to be real, a team of police was patrolling the neighborhood, and seconds after the gunshot explosion was heard, they came to Jody-Ann's assistance. Jody-Ann was badly hurt, but conscious enough to detail the assailant and the getaway car. She was immediately rushed to the nearest hospital by the police, where she underwent emergency surgery to remove the bullet lodged in her throat. The doctors were successful in stabilizing Jody-Ann and saving her unborn baby's life. Police at that same time managed to intercept the Toyota Corolla car with the 3 male suspects. It was most shocking to the media fraternity when the getaway driver's identity was revealed. It was no other than Wayne Whyte, the popular TV host of Claro Cash Cab and gospel show host on Kool97 FM radio. The shooter was a Rastafarian man named Safari Farr and another man who later turned Crown's witness against Wayne and Safari. The police also found the gun in the car, which was a Toyota Corolla, and the license number on the car was hidden by a fake license number made out of cardboard. Over a week in police custody, on April 13, 2012, Wayne Whyte and Safari Farr were charged for illegal gun and ammunition and for wounding with intent. Days after her traumatic life and death horror experience, Jody-Ann was released from the hospital where she departed from the island to the US amongst public backlashes and criticism of her affair with her married coworker. They even went as far as to say she reaps what she sowed. But apart from the critiques, rational-minded and law-abiding citizens showed empathy for Jody-Ann's near-death incident. Many are of the view that Wayne Whyte was a vicious wolf in sheep's clothing, and questioning his character as a Christian and as a public professional media personality with an active role in church ministry. If you ask me, I would say God, our heavenly creator, was unraveling what was in the dark into light and protecting a child from in the womb. Jeremiah 1 verse 5. God said, before I formed you in the womb, I knew you. Before you were born, I sanctified you, and I ordained you to be a prophet to the nations. I believe children are blessing from God. On June 28, 2013, Wayne Whyte and his co-accused, Sapphire Farr, pleaded guilty to the charges of illegal gun and wounding with intent. In Sapphire Farr's guilty plea, he stated to the court that Wayne Whyte promised him $250,000 for killing Jody-Ann and also gave him the gun and ammunitions. And he never knew Miss Gray was pregnant. On July 8, they were officially found guilty and subsequently sentenced to 29 years in prison. But they would be spending 14 years incarcerated, as the sentence would run at the same time. When they heard how many years they were going to spend in prison, both grown men bawled like babies. This case was an infamous one that grabbed the public's attention, and people who had information on Wayne and Jody-Ann came forward to the media, spilling what they knew. And that's how the public knew of Wayne Whyte's pattern of behavior at his previous job as a manager at the then Air Jamaican airline. It was alleged by a former worker at the airline that he was having an affair with a young lady who one morning passed him without acknowledging him, which angered Wayne to the point where he publicly hurled abusive language at the young lady, resulted in him being sent on a brief suspension. The former employee further stated that Wayne Whyte was an authoritarian manager who was very aggressive and had no regard for anyone in a less ranked position than him.
That the man who fools himself is a fool of the first order.
The man who fools himself
is a fool of the first order. In other words, you can't find a bigger fool than that. And from then, him say, you must always be true to yourself. And I've never forgotten that. And my mantra has always been to thine own self be true.
I believe from the facts of this case that Wayne Whyte was living a double life. One that he portrayed to the public as being an upstanding, married Christian man, coupled with his media personality, and the next, lying to younger women that he was separated from his wife and he was only there because of his children. He gives people the impression that he is a well-rounded man with a successful career. Wayne Whyte, in my opinion, was a wolf in sheep's clothing. In June of 2012, Jody-Ann Gray gave birth to a daughter she named Miracle. She's still living overseas and has chosen not to let the past determine her future. Since then, she has made tremendous strides in her career endeavors, going on to earn a degree in media and communication from the University of the West Indies.
All the people who always checking in on me and messaging me and sending me words of encouragement and inspiration, I just want to say thank you so much. I also want you guys to know that Jamaica will always be #1 in my heart.
The last anyone heard from Wayne Whyte behind prison walls was in 2019 when the Jamaica Observer did an interview with him. In the interview, Wayne Whyte made his status known that he was an inmate administrator who found his true calling by teaching the illiterate prisoners how to spell, read, and write. He is also a devoted Christian who is the host of the prison radio station. Wayne Whyte said he was sorry for what he did to Jody-Ann and is asking for her forgiveness, and he expressed his wishes of one day meeting his daughter. Please, viewers, share your thoughts in the comment section below.